As you can see, the hydration is perfectly uniform. The spongy yet firm texture and consistent yellow
The stream of crumbly dough approaches the massive steel rollers of the compound press. The loose crumbs are about to be squeezed into
the compounding process. Two separate rough sheets are fed into a single roller set to bond them together, fusing instantly.
Close-up of the dough sheet looping between conveyor sections. To prevent tension from tearing the thick dough, it is allowed to hang in a gentle U-shaped loop.
The wheel spins silently, measuring the thickness to the micron. This illustrates the high-tech precision of modern.
These are the smoothest, most highly polished rollers in the entire line. They press the dough down to its final thickness of roughly 1 millimeter.
The camera captures the backlit dust motes, settling gently onto the fast-moving yellow sheet. Extreme close-up macro view of the rotary slitter blades. These are not simple knives, but a complex series of interlocking stainless steel discs. The wave creation physics revealed. This is the defining moment of instant new manufacturing. This is the starch transformation. The opaque, floury texture of the raw dough begins to fade as the starch granules.
Industrial logic here is saturation, ensuring every single strand, even those in the center of the mat, is exposed to the same thermal energy.
The seasoning absorption potential. Post-steam texture detail. A close-up of the noodles immediately after exiting. They are incredibly sticky at this point, the strands clinging to each other.
Scanning for density. The free fall dynamic. Immediately after being cut, the noodle block is launched into the air. The conveyor belt ends and the square cake.
Tucking and folding action. As the noodle block lands in the metal retainer, mechanical tuckers or folding arms might gently press the stray strands into the mold. The texture transformation in the oil. The camera tracks a single noodle block through the fryer. The bubbles are slowing down and the color is shifting to a rich golden brown. The lid constraint detail. A close-up shot of the noodles pressing against the wire lid of the basket.
The exit ramp, rising from the deep. The frying time is up. The basket. The lid opening. The baskets reach the discharge zone. The mechanical latches on the lids are tripped by a guide rail. The lids swing open in unison.
The camera zooms in to the microscopic level of the fried noodle surface. You can see the tiny blisters and bubbles on the surface of
Alternative view, the hot air dryer. If this were a non-fried line, the visual would be different. A shot of the basket.
Before the air touches the food, it must be purified. This emphasizes the clean room logic, only scrubbed.
Freezing. This digital visualization illustrates the rapid heat exchange, proving the core temperature of the noodle block has dropped from 1.
Airjet rejection mechanism. Following the defect detection, the camera captures the physical rejection. The burnt noodle block reaches the rejection station.
The check-where-where dance ensures absolute precision. As the noodle block slides onto the scale, it's weighed seamlessly in motion.
The metal detector portal. The conveyor passes through a distinct, thick rectangular aperture, usually made of white food-grade plastic to avoid interference.
The buffer accumulator. Sometimes packaging machines run slower than the fryer. The camera shows a buffer system where noodle blocks
lined up with soldier-like precision. The noodles are now a finished product, naked and vulnerable, just seconds away from being sealed in their final armor.
The interlocking stacking pattern. The camera looks down from above the pallet as the robot places a second layer.
Final stage, the automatic stretch wrapper. The fully loaded pallet moves out of the robot cell onto a turntable.